So, today's video, we're watching a Elite 1 Diva on Xbox. Now, reason why I'm watching this game, this is like a 45-minute game. I've been looking for long games, and this is a long one. It says, this, without a doubt, the most insane, heart-pounding, roller coaster of a match I've ever played. Started off tame. I was planning on doing a melee sort of build, but ended up going with a survivability stall for absolutely every build. I didn't even change items from round 6 to 7. That's pretty much what Diva is in Stadium right now, is you basically start off with a melee build, and then you scale terribly, and then you have to just go some survivability build. The 7th round itself lasted 8 minutes. Any advice is welcome, and I definitely recommend you try this build. Love you and chat. Well, I'll tell you this much. My problem I run into in the legend area of tanking right now with any Diva build is that there's about a 69% chance there's a Reinhardt or a Zarya, and then about a 30% chance there's a Reinhardt, which both of those can be tough now with builds. So I got to hope for that 1% chance, 2% chance of playing against a Queen or like another Diva or a Orisa. So that's why I don't do as many Diva builds. Anyway, let's take a look at what your build is. I imagine you're going for a melee build, but you took stat boost. During the first 2 seconds, it recovers faster. I like that ability, but all right, I'll see how it goes. You're going up against an Orisa, so this isn't a bad matchup for you. Like an Orisa matchup is fine. And that Reaper did not care. Running in a straight line over there. Garmin, thanks for the prime sub. Thank you for shit. Thank you. It's so interesting, like, just seeing how Stadium plays out at the beginning for Diva, like. Yeah, I mean, is the Orisa a Chris Paul fan? I only say that because their name is CP3 Assists. Sorry, I didn't really react to that at first, and I just looked, and that was the first thing I saw. Everything else, I just apparently missed, and I just said, oh. It's just a Chris Paul fan. Yep. Here we go. Yeah, I mean, like, to be real here, like, at the first round of, like, Diva, if you go a build like this, you're basically going to play Diva like you normally would play Diva in ranked. Like, there's not... This build to start is basically you're just playing the way you would normally play. So, like, the build you would go if you were going full melee from the get-go is you go the mecha, whatever it's called one, and then you melee people, and you, like, anytime you get in the limb with that melee, or around the melee timing, you get like a free like reset. So this is more of like a defensive strategy. One thing I want you to be careful of, even though you're gonna ult here, you're not playing Reinhardt, so don't do that. Good ult though. I've seen you a few times kind of go in there and like just play up front. So, yep. Let's go.
Just hit 5 months and finally got the courage to submit my first hop. Let's go.
Yep. I feel like sometimes, and I don't know if it's just me, I feel like sometimes you just kind of go around in circles around the map, and you're just like, yep, that's that. You missed the Baby Diva build. The Baby Diva build was fun. I get why they got rid of it. Like, I understand, right? Like, it was a frustrating to play against. I think I got surprised that they, you know, while that was like frustrating to play against, they let other stuff be really frustrating to play against stay there. But I think it's like, you know, learning experience. I think Stadium is getting better and better. I mean, people have said to me like, hey, you know, they need a buff Diva, and I'll be real with you, I don't think they need a buff Diva. I think they just need to tone back a couple heroes to go on the level that like Diva, Queen, Orisa are at in Stadium. Because, like, I think if you buff Diva the moment you nerf, let's say, Zarya, right? Now you're just going to have Diva run around. And listen, I play a lot of Diva, but I get it. You know, you don't want a Diva in front of your face the whole time, especially when there's a lot of hit scan. Like, it's not, you know what I mean? Like, so I get it. Also, sometimes with Stadium, I like to see where the build goes. I won't get as analytical with stuff sometimes. Because, like, again, if I had to give, like, feedback here, it's you kind of aren't going... You kind of aren't going at them with, like, a purpose. You're kind of just running at them in, like, a straight line, and you're not looking to get on targets. You're just trying to all-in people. So, you know, that you could change that up a little bit, but that's just how that goes. Let's see what you got item-wise. Okay, you grab solo spec. When you mitigate damage with defense matrix, gain shields. That one's okay. Convert 100 health to... How did this... Okay, you said you were starting with like a melee build. This is not a melee build right now. Are you saying you got siphon gloves? Because siphon gloves exist, yes, but I wouldn't call it a melee build, right? Because I'm looking at your stuff here. You have stat boost. You went solo spec, which gives you shields. You got vitality, which gives you health to armor, so you get more armor, and you bought armor. So like, I don't even think this is a melee build. Like if you were to like actually look at like your like the melee build, you'd be like, oh wait a second. That is not the build. Well, that's what I'm saying. You get the Mecha Punch with the Siphon. The Siphon one, that's what I was saying. I think it was like getting the item but not getting the power makes it way less effective. So, I see the build you're going for. You're going to be very tanky. Yeah, we're doing a stadium one. This is a 45-minute stadium game. Most stadium games, like my longest ones are 35 minutes max. Okay. I need to stop for a second here because, like, I think it's really, even though, like, it's a spectated and I know I don't get too analytical with, like, the stadium ones, you can't stand here on the low ground and do that. You have high ground up here. So, like, something I would do in this situation against an Orisa is a lot of people, when you play Diva, you just feel like you have to just run at them and, like, basically, like, being, like, two, like, titans going at each other, right? We're watching, you know, Pacific Rim. No, that's not what is supposed to happen here, okay? As Diva, you choose when and where you engage. That's what you do as Diva. That you need to you choose that engagement because you have the mobility. All right. If you're gonna play Diva, why run in a straight line right here in front of an Orisa and just be like, "Hello, demech me." Now you'll probably see me do that sometimes. Again, it's about how much you have to lessen that idea. So what I'm trying to give you is tools here to be like, okay, starting off here, starting off strong. I'm gonna fly up to this bridge. Okay, we're gonna go up to the bridge. I'm gonna start defense matrix in their back line. If my teammates really need help with the Orisa, I can go there. But do you see how much just being up here with defense matrix, you can block damage here. You can frustrate backlines here. You can choose your engagements. Do you see what I'm saying? So I did want to point that out because I feel like it's already with your play style. I think this would help you a lot of stop face tanking as Diva and go more of above them and then look for your engagements when the time is right for you as Diva. Don't let the other team dictate when you should make those plays. Anyway, there you go. Hope that was helpful. Yep. I see to the show. I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I'm sorry. And then, like, if you want to get annoying with that style, then you grab the power that gives you the longer defense matrix range, and now you're literally just... You're constantly eating damage, and then that can go well with, like, your solo spec one, right? Where, like, when you eat damage, then you can get... I've seen some other builds that have been fun recently that I've been trying on Diva, and whenever they end up, like, adjusting how Zarya is in Stadium, if they ever do, I can try it more. There's, like, builds where you can, like... You go, like, the ability power with rockets, but then, like, whenever you DM amount of damage, it shoots more rockets. So there's a lot of cool stuff. Again, there's no reason for you to run into the team there. Like, to give you an idea, you could literally sit here on an angle and block the bot. I'm already doing it. I love how I go, yeah, I'm not going to be as analytical with this one. I already passed that. So, like, you can stand up here and block it and then go here and go back and forth, right? You see this? Like, you have the opportunity to kind of, like, stop the bot. Instead, you go down to the bot and get rolled. So, I just want to make sure you get out of the habit of doing that because I think you can have much better starts if you play like that than you do what you're doing right now. Yep. Good DM there. Now, I would... Next time in that situation, let your Cassidy get the kill. Just use your DM on the cast. Don't... Because there's a chance that Reaper could have got a kill when you don't want to trade.
It's our turn. Let's push forward.
Play cover. You still need HP. Don't take poke damage. It's not worth it. Yep. There you go. Alright, I'm watching. The thing is, I don't know where this build's going yet. It's like a very, like you said, a very defensive build. No. Okay. Is it okay, Chad, if I get a little bit more analytical with this one? Because I have to. I have to do it. Okay, let's talk about this very quickly. I'm going to rewind for a second. I want you to understand this. If you're flying away and this Reaper's ulting, you are not escaping this. Okay? You are not going to fly away and then just, like, let your teammates die. Look how much armor you have. That, I don't even... You could probably... Okay, this could be an over-exaggeration, but you could probably stand there, not even use Defense Matrix, and you probably won't even lose all your armor against that Reaper ult. I'm not joking. Especially this early into the round. Later on, maybe yes. But, like, what you would do here is rather than fly away, hit your flight button, right? Whatever you're using, whether it's toggle, whether it's, like, activate on this, or you hold it. Hit the button, and just DM the Reaper. That's it. Because what happens is, watch you. You fly by to get away from the Reaper. You're like, yeah, you know what? Heck you, teammates. And then look what happens. You lose your Mercy. In no way should that Mercy have fallen over in your team. If maybe a Cassidy gets like an off angle over here and is out of your DM range, I get. But there is no way a Reaper should be able to ult in front of your face and get a kill. Especially when you have as much DM as you had to. You had a ton of DM left still. So, I just want to point that out. I just... Next time, just hit the flight button and do that. If they demech you, at least your Mercy survives, and then everything goes from there, and you have your ultimate to go with. So... Anyway, I hope that was helpful information. Okay, yeah, this is the right idea. Yes. Chat, you don't realize it, but that was actually a good play because the D.Va ignored the Orisa finally, went past everybody, and then DM'd the teammate to stay alive. That's how you do it. There you go. Obviously, it's a little bit late game, so you're going to the bot, and that's why you're doing this accidentally. But you're doing the right play, even if there wasn't like an overtime situation. See that? You're basically going past the Orisa, making the Orisa have to force a decision, and then your mobility carries you. See? Hope you're having a good Saturday, too. You got yourself a bagel and an iced coffee. That sounds like a good day. Now you're gonna want to play for, like, maybe Reaper has ult again. Maybe Reaper doesn't. But you're gonna make sure this Reaper doesn't do anything here. There you go. There you go. Nice DM. Now DM. Yes. DM a little bit more. DM a little bit more. There you go. And the reason why you DM a little bit more there, just so people understand this, the reason why you're going to Defense Matrix more there in that type of situation is because there's a Juno ultimate, right? So there's going to be a lot of damage. You're probably not going to be able to kill them through it, so make sure they don't kill your teammates. That was a good job. Your DM usage was good. Also, your playstyle has shifted a bit now, and it's working in your favor. But you should be able to win the game because of this. Or win the round. There you go. Nice job. Good play. Okay, so looking at your round 3 power, you get face tanking, which is fine. Face tanking works well with this. I just don't think you ever. What I'm trying to get at is I don't think you ever had a melee build here. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't even think you need the Siphon Gloves anymore. Like, I know you get a little bit of HP from meleeing, but like you have 839 HP. You're not playing a build. I think you're at a point where you could probably readjust some of your purchases here. Siphon Gloves, I feel like, is just I think you could probably. Heck, you could even put that into armor again if you wanted to, right? You don't have armor right now with that. So 25% ability power, crystal on this one. Okay, I mean, we'll see. I don't know the exact math here. So if you have match cash 23,000, yeah, you could definitely do that. Yeah, you could even get a better item than that. Okay, anyway, we'll see what happens. Good old Throne of Anubis, the map that takes a long time to complete. Sometimes. Better. DM usage is looking good. DM. Sleeping teammate, you DM. Just remember, whenever you see your teammate sleeping, it's a good idea to at least give them a little bit more than that. It could have easily fallen over. Worked out though, so. Nice jump. Okay, play to live. Back away. You don't need anything else here. There you go. That was a spin move. Holy crap. Well, this map, it's interesting as how the second points play. I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but I actually like the way Clash plays in Stadium. It almost feels like this is how Clash is meant to be played. And it goes to show you that I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's a hot take or not, but my mindset is that one of the number 1 issues, and at least I was saying from the get-go, was that the spawns were too close for the last points. That was the problem. So look what happens when you distance the last point enough to where, like, they have to get through a choke, but it just plays better than, like, the old points did. So I feel like Clash and Stadium is like more of what they envisioned with Clash. And like there's a world where they can make it work again if they decide to readjust spawn points. And have it flow the same way. They have like a blueprint here. It's like, can they make it work in the core game? I don't know. Because obviously there's more more variation to that. Like, for example, one reason why it works so well is because there's more survivability in this mode. Or there isn't, right? Like you can get two-shot also. But it just plays a lot different than like the core game would play. So, you know, ult economy can mean a little bit less there, but you have more HP. There's more likely to get back in time. Things like that, so. Anyway. Yeah, this second point, even then, you could argue on Throne of Anubis, this second point, or this point here, is a little bit too close in comparison to the Hanaoka one. At the same time, I've had really intense Throne of Anubis games that I wouldn't have had if it wasn't for this close spawn. And I've also had really good Hanaoka games that have been good because of the way the spawn is there. So maybe, I don't know. Either way. Sorry, I went on a little bit of a side rant there about... I guess this is a good time if people are watching on YouTube to, like, give their thoughts on Stadium and Clash, because I'm curious also. Look at that, chat. I'm really good at seeing if I can get engagement on comments, too. Wow. I'm becoming a YouTuber. This has been lasting forever here, by the way. This is one of those, like, I don't even know where to just... Yep. Yep. That's a high noon. You know, when I am watching this, I do like the idea of the stat booster the more I see it now. Like, watching your defense matrix management when you fly around like that is actually pretty sweet. I never really use, I never use stat booster as much. The one that, like, the one that when you fly, it gets your, it, like, restarts your defense matrix. See that? That's pretty good, actually. Maybe there is once I get Legend on tank, maybe I'll experiment with that a little bit more. I'm like one game away. I'm already Legend on DPS and almost on support, so I'm trying to... Yeah, it's really good. I like it. Alden is, you know, not bad here. I would say, if you know you're going to probably lose your suit there, don't be afraid to go up in the air. Good job eating all the damage there. Nice job. That HP's above 1,000 now. Don't be afraid to DM. Remember, your DM's going to give you some of those shields. So, I don't want to see wasted DM like that. If you're going to get an item that gives you a little bit more, like shields for DMing, I want to make sure you're using that to its full effect. Right there, I think you could have survived a little bit longer. That maybe gives you more time for your teammates to get back. Maybe that gives you time to get healed up. Maybe one of them overextends to kill you because of that, right? There's a lot that can happen there. Holy crap, these rounds are forever, by the way. I can see why your game went as long as it did. Nice job. I think you could win this, but I actually don't know yet either. I don't know yet either, you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to say. I'm trying to figure that part out. Okay, there you go. Good round there. Let's head back to the D.Va. We'll see what the item upgrades are after all that. So you grabbed Iris for cooldown reduction. That's actually... Does cooldown reduction work with Defense Matrix? Probably, right? So that probably goes hand in hand. The crystal item, when you ability damage and healing grants... This could be good because you're getting the shield. That counts as healing. Crusader Hydraulics and then Gloom Gauntlet. Okay, Gloom Gauntlet makes a bit more sense because you get the armor and then, like, you get movement speed and restore HP. So the Gloom Gauntlet's not a part of it. You would get that in a melee build, but like that one makes sense as an item if you're going survivability. So I get that one because you're gonna get the movement speed increase, which is survivability increase, and also the HP per second. And on top of that, you have the crystal one, which gives you based off of healing. So now you have like you're healing a lot. You're getting extra ult charge because of that. So you should build quicker ults because of that too. Yep, you can already see it. Like look how much damage has been happening, but look at the D.Va's ult charge. Like it's going up without even doing anything. See? So yeah, it goes pretty well. This is where you would DM. Yep, you're at it. You overextended. Make sure not to use your flight into the team. Yeah, well, it can help you cast. It can help you cast it quicker, which I guess is good too. Yeah, so not bad. Trying to get your suit back. Nope. If you're playing that build, there is zero reason to fly into their backline. You did it twice and you got DMAC twice. You see what happened there? So, if you're going a full defensive build, you just need to go full defensive for a while. It's okay to go for backline pressure when your teammates are up there with you, but there's no reason to fly into the backline over and over again and get DMAC. You also have Gloom Gauntlet, so if they get aggressive on you on the front side of the point there, your teammates can help you and you can melee them, get the movement speed to go back and forth, and you can delay the point even longer and possibly just win the point itself. So, make sure to play around the playstyle that you're playing, which ends up being a little bit more defensive, but like, yeah. Now you can go in, your Genji's in, you got a kill, right? But now you're playing defensive. Okay, good job backing away there. All right. Second time somebody's died to a Reaper ult. I know this is why sometimes you don't randomly fly into the skybox just to do it, because that also got your teammates killed. Watch out to Remec here, Ristic and Javelin you. Good job. Good choice to wait a second. Nice job, there you go. Nice limb. You don't need a DM at all right now. You're just wasting your DM. Don't. You just wasted your DM for a little bit there. So, I know you can get it back by flying, but like, okay, now the Reaper is left alone on point. He went for the... I feel like you're trying to fly around and do too much right now. That's what it feels like. Huh. That's certainly an ult. Good remake. This is taking forever. So I feel like, just to kind of give you an idea, by the way, I think what you need to end up doing in this type of build here, in this like comp, is end up like playing to keep your teammates alive, not fly around in circles. And I think that's what your problem's been, is like you just like tend to do that and you forget about your teammates. And like with this build, you can basically make your teammates unkillable. And then when you get a kill, you take that opportunity to get a kill. Because a lot of your teammates are dying to a bunch of hit scan heroes, and you have all this DM, and you're just kind of using it, you know, in a way that your teammates could die during that. So I would find a much more, like, I guess, like, in between of your playstyle here. This is crazy how long these team fights are going for. Holy crap. These are wild, though. Every single point has been like this. There you go. And they got off the point. Holy crap, this is wild right now. Have you ever noticed in Stadium, it is not forgiven if you step off that point at any point. It is not forgiven. So now we're going to look at your build. You did get ultra wide, which this is what we talked about earlier, was with like, you get ultra wide, you combine it with face tank, and this is a defense matrix build. I wouldn't call this a melee build regardless. This is a defense matrix build. Not a bad build. Still have Iris, you got Vandium injection, which by the way, this one is really good if you're not going to ult. And in this type of situation, that's probably a good idea if you're not going to build into like quick diva ults and things like that. This is a good build. You get all those stats the moment you have ult charge. You get the movement speed, the cooldown reduction, attack speed, all of that, and all you need to do is not ult. And you get 50 HP. So you get more HP. And then you got all your other stuff here that you had before. So yeah, I mean, you're just a defense matrix build, which is fine. This build can work really well and can be frustrating, especially with their team comp, which is basically you not counter, but every single one you kind of can roll with, is what I'm getting at. So we'll see. So they should toss Gloom Gauntlet at this point. Only reason why I'm okay with Gloom Gauntlet here, and I'll pause for a second to talk about it, and then we'll go back to it. I like the idea of the movement speed in the burst heal. So if I have Gloom Gauntlet here, and I'm not saying you can't swap it out for a better item, etc., but if like, and I haven't, the funny part is I haven't seen them use it as much. You just like DM it when you just like, if I need to get out or escape quickly, I just pop a melee in front of somebody. I get like a little bit of a heal and speed boost. So like, it's it can work here if you're meleeing people when you see them. Like, if you melee there, and then you get, like, the heal on yourself when you're doing that, and the movement speed, it can be really good at, like, being able to disengage a little bit better. Does that make sense? Like, you can, it's not, I don't think I would have it myself at this round, but you could still make it work in this round because of that. Also, I want to reiterate here. You notice how you just forgot about your team and you backed away? And, like, you just, like, this is the one problem you're running into, is you kind of forget about everybody else in your team, but your build is built around keeping your team alive. So if your teammates are getting rolled and you find yourself not near your team at all, then you're probably not going to play the build as well, right? Because you don't really, you can do damage, but you don't really have the same, like, finishing power that your teammates will have. So you need to find a way to, like, enable your teammates to pop off, rather than worry so much about, like, I'm going to fly away every time they shoot at me. There you go. That was an example of the melee being used, and where, like, you get the heal and the movement. Now don't use your ult, because now you get a huge stat increase from that ability. Obviously, use your ult if you need to, but, like, you could get away with not using it for a while. That item's also really good for Cassidy, because late game high noons suck. Good job. This is the correct decision. Yep. Yep. Good job. Teammates are fine there. You're making sure that the supports can't heal the Orisa. This is the correct way to go. I think you're tunneled a little bit in too much on the Juno, but it worked out. It wasn't, like, the worst play. It was bad. It wasn't bad. That was a good ult. You give up that stat increase, but I think the ultimate was a good idea. I mean, the timing on the Reaper was a little bit unlucky. This is console, yes. You can tell by the movement sometimes in the spin. Yep. Based off of how you're playing this, I would probably sell the Gloom Gauntlet next round, though. Reaper, 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 behind your team. There's a Reaper behind on your team. I just want you, I just, okay, your Genji took care of that. I just hope that okay. That's the play you're doing a lot. And I want to get you out of the habit of this. Stop flying around, turning your back, and looking away from the team. There's better ways to disengage there that isn't that. Like, go to the wall to your behind you to the right. Like go, don't just keep doing that same, like, rotation, because that's how you get demech quickly, or, like, you don't, like, see what's going on. These are very intense matches, huh? Like, very intense. Fun, though. Fun to watch, you know? Oh, also, we uploaded another cat video to What a Swell Cat on Instagram if you haven't seen it yet. Yeah, this is just like they have an ult stack. You're going to pop your ult here, obviously. And chat, the reason why the D.Va doesn't ult right away is because of that extra bonus. I will say, don't be afraid late game to pop an ultimate there to play to win. Because, like, the stat increase won't matter as much if, like, your teammates get rolled. So maybe there was a world to use your D.Va ult sooner there. Give up that stat increase, but maybe you get a kill or two, and that helps your team a little bit more, so. Obviously, that's kind of hindsight, but yeah. Okay, so you went Nano Colon Nitrous, the classic baby D.Va build item, which is when you eject your mech, you gain, you know, increased max health and nano boost. Only downside is I don't think you get ult charge during, like, your like suit percentage back. Gain 10% of matrix. Okay, so you got the item that gives you defense matrix on damage mitigated. That could be pretty good, and then that can go hand in hand with helping you get the injection one early. I wonder if these are, like, I guess they're fine because you get the HP. I'm just curious to see if, like, that item might get you ult too quickly, and then, like, you're just kind of wasting the item to get that ult quickly. Does that make any sense what I'm saying? Like, isn't there a world where if you get your ult too quick, then, like, that item ends up going wasted anyway? Because if you end up, I don't know. It's not bad. It's just, like, you're using that item to get a quick ultimate, so if you end up using your ult at any point, but we'll see. Maybe it's a lot better than I expect it is. That's why it's fun watching these videos, because I learn a lot, too. That's a pretty quick deval you can get. I'm watching that already. That is pretty dang good. I have a feeling you could combine this with, like, have your D.Va ult, like, maybe time your D.Va. Oh yeah, I have a build idea off of this already that could be really fun. Now that I'm seeing how quickly you get ult with DM, imagine the D.Va ult one. So you get like, maybe, I don't know, maybe instead of stat boost at the beginning, you get the D.Va ult one, you build in the same way, and then you do this. Then you have quick ultimates, then you can do the one where they explode quicker, and you have a lot more value. That could be kind of interesting as a build. But so far, so good. Yeah, exactly. Like, the D.Va ult will be, like, easier to, like... Because those builds can be really, really good. And if you're able to build your ult consistently, especially through, like, defensive play, it could work well. Especially late game. Yep. Good job flying out of there rather than trying to DM that. Yeah, this survivability is kind of nice. Yep. Well, that's what I was saying is, like, if you're getting it quick enough, it's just one of those things where, like, that item can work. I'm just wondering if you end up, like, it's not being used throughout the full part of the game if you get, like, if you're not ever going to use your ult either. That's what I'm kind of getting at. But the counter argument can be, well, you build your ult quicker, so you're more powerful quicker early on. Good job. These points are like just endless battles. I guess this is what happens when you have an Orisa and a D.Va, both in like a very defensive build. It's just like you're both as kind of like just like tanks on the point. DM. Holy crap. Okay, I want to give you a little bit of be careful of this point and over ulting if you lose too many. Because if you lose too many, you end up losing this point pretty quickly, and then you don't have your ult. I've made that mistake a few times in this map where I'm like, okay, you know, I'm gonna use my ult here and go for the win, and then like if you lose too many people, you end up just losing the point. So I feel like in that situation where it was a 2v5 and there was no guaranteed like team wipe, just keep the ult charge, because that's gonna help you later going forward. Now obviously you can build your ult quickly, so maybe it ends up being fine anyway and you're good, but in case you don't, you know, or in case you try different builds. Yeah, you ended up building your ult in time, so that point ended up not mattering, but this just shows you how strong that item is. Yeah, this is kind of opened my mind to a defense matrix build, or like a defense matrix D.Va ult build. I think there's a possibility here that could work really well. Gotta help your cast here. You gotta DM more than that, because your cast was taking way too much damage to begin with from that, and you kind of just sat there. If you have the wide matrix, you might as well use it, right? Good ult. Your teammates, again, remember your teammates are who you want to keep alive, which will also keep you alive. But sometimes you forget about that part of the build, and then this is what happens. Yep, and you end up losing that one, and we go to round 7. Also, did you notice that Orisa has 99,000 stadium cash? What do you even do with that much stadium cash? All right, so the last round here is you grab countermeasures. Yeah, this is the one I was talking about earlier, the countermeasures one. This one's really good too, because you can like, you do a lot more damage, and then you just kept, yeah, you kept your items because you didn't buy anything. I remember you said that. 35% ability power, you'll do okay with that one. That's okay. I think this is a good round 7 item. I think you made a good choice there. Like having that extra burst damage on the round 7 here could be very effective. Wait, this is the map that goes for 8 minutes? I didn't even realize that. What is that sound? Is that your defense matrix? That's awful. Why is that a sound? What is that? That's the DM shoot the missiles? When I was playing D.Va, I didn't hear that. but I had this item. It wasn't making that noise. It's the missile one, yeah. But I had this, and it wasn't... Yeah, it's the power, right? Yes, the defense matrix one. Oh, is it because I play in third person? Really? The sounds are different? Is it the skin? Oh, it could be. No, I have this one, right? Wait, what one is this one? No, I have the Seraphim one. That's the one I use. Dude, this is crazy. You are very tanky. I do like this build. The problem is that, like, I don't know how this would go against Zarya, right? But against Orisa, against even maybe Rhyme could work really well because you could use it to break shields. Like, most tanks except Zarya would probably work. This is on console, yep. And D.Va actually, the reason why D.Va doesn't get many changes nowadays is because apparently D.Va's console win rate in Stadium is like extremely high. That's why they can't do anything to that. Okay. Holy crap, I at this point, it's just getting wild. Oh, I wish there was a way to let me know if your micro missiles are being shot at them, chat. There needs to be some type of sound cue or something. Beep, 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 beep. Can I change to third person to normal spectator? No, it shows me the point of view of them. Holy crap, this is unreal. This is the most intense game I think I've seen yet. Because every round's been like this. It hasn't... Every single round's been like this. It hasn't just been one. Oh, nice kill. Good job. All right, here we go again. I do like the build, though. I think I would change, like, an item or two, but, like, I like it. Oh no! Here we go again! This is great. Oh, get ready! How long is this going for? Oh, you're back in your suit. All right, time to DM again. Oh, they might get you. This might be. They're gonna get you. Nope. Is the baby D.Va build back on the menu? They got you. They finally got D.Va. Question, can your teammates clutch it out and hold the point? Oh no, the res! Well, not oh no, but you know what I mean. We're back at it! Here we go again! Oh, they demaxed you. No! That might be it. Wait, there's a Kitsune on point. I think that might be it. After all that, I think that's it. Oh my, what a game that was. Holy crap, that was unreal. That was unreal. Anyway, that was a really good game to watch. Thank you for that submission. I like watching those long matches. Remember what we talked about? Make sure to work a little bit on like your movement on stuff and how to like DM, don't face tank all the time, but fun build. I would change a couple items, which I mentioned, but I thought overall that was a really cool build. So good job. I'll give it a try when I can. The problem is I keep going against Zarya in Legend games, and that's kind of makes it hard to play D.Va against that, but that was a fun build to watch. If you have any builds and you're watching this, my Discord, we're looking for any type of fun builds, any type of games like this, long games, games that are, exciting to see. Send them in my Discord. We're looking to watch some. Like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the YouTube. More videos below. You'll see the box here. Go take a look. Hope you all have an amazing day /night.